color curse. Headmaster's office. Dumbledore was pacing back and forth in his office, thinking more than usual. Fawkes's Phoenix was atop his perch, watching him pace but also glancing at the front page of the Morning Prophet, with Harry Potter and Victor Crumb's photos side by side in a heart. Love in the tournament. Bulgarian bonbon dating boy who lived. As you all know, the Triwizard Tournament is underway, and we have international competitors from all around gathering to battle for the cup. But that isn't all that's got us up, is it? The real spotlight shines on famous Bulgarian Quidditch seeker Victor Crumb, and his lovely boyfriend Harrison Charles Priet, formerly known as Harry James Potter, our missing boy who lived. You all recall last year when the child went missing. Well, as it turns out, there's more to the story than we believed. Our poor savior has suffered horrible abuse under the hands of those who should have loved and protected him, and after an incident last year he tried to take his own life only to be saved by his new adoptive mother, Lady Charlotte Sophia Priet, niece to Molly Weasley Nate Priet. From what this reporter gathered, the Lady Priet has given the poor child everything he needs for a stable family, including a happy blessing for him to date Crumb. This reporter cannot disclose information on the boy's abuse. It is not in our rights to tell others. It's unknown how our savior's name was put into the goblet, regardless of his reputation, but as it would seem Mr. Priet does not have to compete just yet. He will stand aside unless needed, as the rules state, since the wrong name was put into the goblet. Harrison Priet has become an exceptional young lad according to his headmaster Blagradner of Durmstrang Academy. He has excelled in his studies, and he has gotten such a lovely shade to him now that he has a family, including his recently pardoned godfather Lord Sirius Orion Black. From what I gathered in the interview, Mr. Crumb and Mr. Priet are very much in love, deeply attached to each other, and frankly this reporter couldn't be happier for the boy. See more details on page B73. The boys were all over the front page, and the rest of the story went on about Harry's adoption and more on the tournament. It left out details on his abuse, which was good, and Charlotte's seer powers, but there was going to be uproar if anyone else put the pieces together. Albus knew he couldn't talk to the boy without Charlotte or his godfathers around, so he would leave him be until after the first task in 2 days. What bothered him though were strange events coming around ever since his identity came to light. For starters, some of the students kept having odd incidents with their sweets and food, multiple trips to the loo or infirmary for vomiting and stomach issues. He suspected the Weasley twins, as did McGonagall, but they had no proof. Another thing was Ronald Weasley and Hermione Granger. Both had been turning odd colors all day. Last night they were green and purple, and this morning Ron was yellow and Hermione was almost pure red. He didn't know what it was, some odd curse, so he would look into it. Albus. Minerva came into the room with Severus. He also had the prophet in his hands. You let that woman interview them? No, Severus, added T. You should be lucky the details were cut short. I suspect Charlotte took care of that, but at least there isn't much blasphemy against the boys. So far no hate mail came through, then again Charlotte likely fixed that too. The students have been silent as of late, except for Miss Granger, Mr. Weasley, and Miss Weasley. What happened to Miss Weasley? She walked into the infirmary completely green from head to toe. It's darker than Mr. Weasley's was. Oh great. I don't think it's any of our students, Albus. And it can't be Mr. Potter, he's been avoiding that lot since he arrived. We'll talk about that later. For now I think we should just focus on the tournament. Harry is not competing, but we will have to wait and see how this goes. Albus, you cannot be serious. Minerva was shocked. I can't do much of anything right now, Minerva. With Charlotte constantly watching all that goes on around the boy, I can't get near him, none of us can. We need to just give him the space he needs. I am not going to step aside. I need to talk to Harry again. Severus, if you push he'll only run off. I suggest you leave him be. Maybe when things calm down you can, but for now just don't. Severus wanted to retort, but he knew Albus was right. If he had any chance of knowing his son, he would have to take a few steps back. All right, you two get back to your classes and leave me to my thinking. Because I have a feeling that another storm is about to blow through. Outside Hogwarts, Harry had been getting glares and whispers coming his way ever since breakfast this morning. When the Daily Prophet morning edition came out, it increased, but at least the article didn't reveal too much information on his past. He had been alone most of the morning. Victor had some training to do with Blagradna, so he went out towards the Black Lake and sat under a tree with his books and Emerald. Meow. His kitty loved climbing the tree, her first real amount of exercise since they arrived. I see you, girl. He laughed as she looked down at him. Mew. She stretched out on the branch, and Harry went back to his book. Studying hard. A moment later he looked up to see Charlotte. Hey Mum, stalking me now? I came to talk. I know you're still a little angry with me about the choosing. Harry. I wasn't trying to control your life, I just I don't want you to get hurt. You've seen it though, right? She must have, but Harry could see the concern in her eyes. Just because I've seen it doesn't mean I can't stop it. Charlotte frowned. I can't see much right now, but I want to be sure you'll be safe even now. That would be difficult. Competing or no, Victor and Harry were likely going to wind up targets in this tournament. I understand that, but I don't want you jumping in front to take a hex for me. If you're going to do something, tell me about it first. He hated secrecy on his part. He was tired of the lies. I will. That's why I wanted to reassure you that I won't do it again. I love you, Harry. I've loved you ever since I first saw you in my visions. Believe me, if I could have taken you sooner I would have. She touched his arm. I know. You've proven that you care about me. What I want to know though, is why. Why are you helping me? Did you choose me? Or was it a vision? No, Harry. I didn't choose you. If anything, Ignatius was the one who wanted to take you, but his old age and sickness prevented it. I promised him once I was old enough and got further enough in my career I would go for you. I just wish it didn't take so long. You had visions about me before? She nodded. I wanted to get you so badly, but I couldn't unless I had a legal backup plan. If I had taken you before, Dumbledore would have sent you back and it would have gotten so much worse. She shuddered in revulsion. I couldn't let that happen. Mum. Harry could see more love in her eyes than he'd ever seen in anyone's, even Molly's. Yes. What happened between you and Molly? She frowned. Harry, I'd love to tell you about it, but now isn't the right time, at least not for me. Which is why I wanted to ask you, do you want to see them for Christmas? Harry didn't really want to, not so soon after what Ron and the others had done, but he couldn't put the full blame on Molly and Arthur. If he saw them, the younger two would stick around. No, but I guess I could write. He would send them a card. He wasn't ready to face them completely yet. Hey, did you by chance have anything to do with that coloration issue on Ron, Hermione, and Ginny? Charlotte smirked. You'll find out in about 3, 2, 1. Potter. Both their heads snapped around to see none other than the younger Weasleys, the twins, and Hermione all come racing towards them. Harry saw the colors they had turned. Ron was orange, Hermione was purple, violet, and Ginny was green. Harry couldn't contain his laughter. He just rolled over on the ground holding his stomach. This isn't funny, Potter. You did this to us, so fix it. Granger screeched. Oh my. Charlotte started laughing too, though hers wasn't as loud as Harry's. Stop laughing at us. Ginny screamed. Fix this now. I can ''T. I had nothing to do with it. Harry breathed out as soon as he wiped tears from his eyes. Liar. Ron bellowed. You did this. Turn us back now. He just told you he can't, little Ronnie, and frankly that curse doesn't have a counter. It'll just go away on its own. All eyes fell on Charlotte. You know what it is? Harry stared and Charlotte nodded. A little doozy called the color curse, See it as in its magic the colors of the 7 deadly sins: envy, greed, pride, gluttony, lust, wrath, and sloth. Green for envy, yellow for greed, violet for pride, orange for gluttony, blue for lust, red for wrath, and light blue for sloth. It turns you all colors, but it depends on which sin you have the strongest. I recall earlier that you little Ronnie were green, and now you're orange. Your jealousy of my son has shown itself, and now your distasteful eating habits have shown as well. You Granger, rely too much on your pride as Mulborn and a bright witch, which in it alone should tell you something. You Ginny Winnie, well, you're jealous of a lot of things right now since your friends have more than you. Only now they can see it. Charlotte smirked at the look on Ginny's face with the silly nickname she gave her. You. The twins stared in awe at Charlotte. Did this? They pointed at the younger three. Well, it is a curse I invented, but then again all the Buxbaton girls know it, so it could have been one of them. All mouths dropped. Mum? Harry was astounded. Charlotte made the curse to bring out a person's inside emotions. Their darker ones at least. You made this and you didn't create a counter? Granger seethed at Charlotte and she started turning red. I just told you the curse will go away on its own, but even faster if you let go of your sinful emotions. Maybe not completely, but at least enough. By that Charlotte meant that even if they kept the emotions around, it wouldn't be as powerful if they would let go of some of it. You'll be arrested for this. No, she won't. She just told you she didn't cast the curse. Go bother someone else. Harry let Emerald jump down into his lap, and she hissed at his former friends. It's bad enough you've come back. Now you've plastered your disgusting relationship with Crumb of all people all over the front page. Ron growled and he too began to turn red. At least I don't fawn over him like a fangirl. Victor likes it when I'm myself. You can't be gay. Ginny whispered, but they all heard it. Her color didn't change like the other two. I am, just took me a bit to realize it. What were you hoping we would get married in the future and have lots of red-headed babies? You threw that out when you abandoned me last year. Then again, I never would have married someone so spoiled as you. Ginny had tears in her eyes. Don't insult my sister Potter. Weasley went for his wand, but Charlotte disarmed him. I wouldn't try that if I were you, not unless you want international complications against a European citizen. Her eyes flashed dangerously. You cannot threaten us. You may be rich and politically powerful, but you're a fraud just like Trelawney. Seers are myths. No one is strong enough to see into the future. Hermione pointed furiously at the redhead, but Charlotte only laughed. You had best stop being so narrow-minded, Granger. It wouldn't do much good for your future. She winked and Hermione roared angrily. Yanking out her wand, she tried to fire a hex at Charlotte, but the twins disarmed her and stood in front of Harry and their cousin. Back off, they said. Do not dare hurt our cousins. When you deserve everything coming to you. You're standing up for them? Ron was shocked. Yes, we are. The twins stood proud. They are family now and we will treat them as such. Traitors. Their brother growled, but Hermione was smart enough to pull him away. This isn't over. You'll both pay for the frauds you are. Yeah, well, good luck on that, beaver teeth. Harry shouted after her and the twins just laughed. That was amazing, little cousin. Fred turned with a huge toothy grin. Don't expect me to be cozy with you both. Harry frowned. You're just as guilty as they are. The twins' smiles fell. Harry, we never abandoned you. We just didn't see the signs. Because McGonagall had us in detention for our pranks. And we had to improve our marks or Mum would have had our heads. But we're sorry for it all. We wish we had seen it. Really? Harry didn't think he could believe them, even if part of him wanted to. He had loved the twins like older brothers, but they hadn't been there when he needed them regardless of the situation. I don't know if I should give you a chance. Harry. Excuse us for a minute, you two? Harry lifted Emerald up in his arms and followed Charlotte maybe 10 or 15 feet away from the twins. Harry, I think you should let them in. Why? They weren't there. Yes, but they still care. I can see the twins love you like a brother. They want to make up for their mistakes. It'll be good for you to have them back in your life. Harry admitted she was likely right. He did want the twins back, but it wouldn't be easy. I'm not saying let them in right away, just let them try, and if they hurt you again, well, your schoolmates can handle it if you don't. Harry laughed. But they won't hurt you, I know it. You do, Mum, you're doing it again. No, I'm just giving advice. It's up to you on whether you decide it or not. She kissed his head, and Harry felt something come over him. He figured maybe he could give the twins a chance, but it would not be easy for them to regain his friendship. He walked back over with Emerald still in his hold, and approached the stiffening twins. All right. They gaped a little. I'll give you a chance, but if you mess this up then you will both regret it. They broke out into smiles, and hugged Harry only to get scratched by Emerald's claws. Yow. They each had a light mark on their cheeks. Hey, she doesn't like strangers. He stroked her ears. I guess I'll see you two around. I need to meet up with my friends. Hey, we're your friends too. They pretended to be hurt. Yes, but you two still have a good ways to go, and if you do hurt Harry, well, I can just show around this picture. Charlotte showed a photo of two babies, red-haired babies with brown eyes dressed in pink girl clothes. Is that? Harry looked ready to burst. The twins when they were about 4 months old. Bill and I thought it would be funny to turn their clothes. Charlotte laughed and the twins paled. You wouldn't. Oh, I would, and this isn't my only copy. She stuffed the picture into her shirt. Now. She paused, and Harry saw her eyes glaze over. She was having a vision. Excuse us. Harry gently pulled Charlotte away and Emerald followed after them. Harry spotted Victor by the pitch with their friends, and they saw them approach. Victor came over with Devon, Gerard, and Nikolai, but they too saw Charlotte's eyes. It's... She broke from her daze. Mum, what is it? Lady Prid. Victor and the others checked in case someone else was watching. So far no one was around, and Charlotte breathed out her words. The first task. Is a dragon.
I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Before we close the video, I noticed 53% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, goodbye!